Hello everyone, welcome to my tutorial on Java. Today's tutorial I'm going to continue my discussion on the Java I/O, and I'm going to talk about the buffered streams. In the last two tutorials I talked about the unbuffered streams, which consist of the byte and the character streams, and compared to those the buffered stream is more efficient. During the unbuffered I/O, what we do is we invoke individual requests, and those requests can trigger the disk access or the network activity or some other operations that may be expensive. But for the byte buffered streams, we keep the bytes or the characters in a buffer and read and write from there. Okay, so that's why we are basically doing a chunk operation at just one time, and then we are reading and writing from there. So that is why this is more efficient, because we are making less call to the networks. So with the buffered stream there can be of two types. One is the reader and the other one is the byte. Sorry, I should say input stream. So whenever we have the reader class wrapped with the buffered, we are calling that the buffered reader, and whenever we have the input stream wrapped within, we are calling that the buffered input stream. So although they are both buffered streams, but there is a difference, because this one is dealing with the character and this one is dealing with the byte, as we know that, because this is coming from the reader class and this is coming from the input stream class. So this is the character and this is the byte. Now when we wrap around, we are going to implement our buffered reader like this. BR equals new buffered reader, and then we wrap new reader, and then we have the path. Okay, so that's it. So this is how we are going to do our default buffered reader implementation, that we are doing what we are wrapping the reader class over here. Now we can actually pass on the buffer size in this class as well. So in that case, what we have to do, we have to just buffer size equals 1024 times 8. Okay, and then we are going to pass this on to our wrapper class, new buffered reader, and then new reader, and then we have the path and then buffer size. Okay, so in this case we are doing what? We are passing on the buffer size, and we have to remember that it is always efficient to have the buffer size multiple of 1024. Now this buffered reader do have another method, is called the read line. So we have another method called read line. So what it does is, let's say you have something in one line, so whenever there is a return and then it goes to the next line, okay, so it reads line by line and returns accordingly, and this is how we are going to read it. Equals br dot readline. Okay, and this readline method actually returns null when there is nothing. This returns null when there is no line. Okay, so this is even better because what we are going to do, we are reading even more, like we are reading a line at a time. Okay, and of course there is the read method, and whenever there is -1, that means there is no more to return. Alright, so let's take an example within the code, and this is the code. You can see that we have defined a buffered reader, okay, and there is a print router, and then we have the input stream, and buffered reader it's wrapping the file reader, and we have the file path, and this is the output stream. Okay, and then we have a string method, and there is the read line method implemented over here. Input stream dot read line not equals to null. As I said before, that the read line checks for the null value. So whenever there is null, that means it's the end of the stream, and this is how it is written. Okay, or this is how it is writing in this case over here. Output stream println, and then we are putting the finally method, the finally block, because as I said before, we have to always close our streams within the finally block. It is a good practice. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.